Hello, friends. Hope everyone has had a good Thursday. Those of you in the US, happy 4th of July. At least for those who are toward the western side of the country. Wherever else you may be, hope you've had a fantastic day. And we're looking forward to a groovy weekend. We are here tonight to do some more testing on the War Within beta. Gonna do some Mythic Plus stuff. Hello. So we got two things I want to work on testing tonight, and then we'll see where else we may end up going. I want to do some Demon Hunter testing. I have not done enough of that yet, and I want to get that video out sooner than later. And I also want to start testing the War Within Dungeons. I've mostly been testing returning dungeons because they've been a little bit easier to find successful groups for. But I think it's time that we dive in some of the new dungeons that we're going to be seeing in Season 1. So we're going to start tonight with the Stone Vault, which has been rough. It's been a challenge to see success in pugs in this one, but we're gonna give it a shot. We're gonna see how it goes. Get some more testing done with the new affixes as well. Alright. Lots of mages on the beta. Shout out to mages. We need more people who do lots of damage and bring time warp to our groups. Hope everyone out there is doing well tonight. Hopefully if you celebrated the 4th, you're able to stay safe. Tire Lion, good morning. Hope you're having a good morning so far. It is very late night. Well, not very late night. It's late night where I am. I guess after 10 o'clock qualifies as late night for most of us. How are you doing right now? I feel like this is kind of an awkward hour to try and do stuff on the beta. There's not a lot of people queuing up for dungeons at this time of day. It's a little too early for the EU crowd. 7:18 in Germany? Well, good morning to you. I'm on America West Coast? Yes, I am. Thank you for sharing that, Caliban. Hopefully it, all that barbecue, yeah. Right on. Hopefully you're able to get through that, that process. You're welcome. Alright, we just need one more DPS, so we'll grab this warrior. Maybe we wanted to grab a B-Res. It's just a +3, what could go wrong? Stone Vault. I had successfully completed this dungeon a couple of times. I was messing around with a no incarnation spec on Druid earlier today, and it felt surprisingly good. Why do I have to start testing as soon as you get off? Oh no, oh no. Apparently if you take a step forward in here, you aggro some friends. Well, I get on as early as I can. Tonight it's about an hour, a little more than an hour later than usual. But that's partially because we were doing fireworks. It's like one of those. Oh no, yeah, we're just gonna die. Apparently, like, you take one step forward in this dungeon, and you aggro trash. Great start. Yeah, we were doing fireworks until it was a little after 9 o'clock. Kids are usually well asleep by 9 o'clock, but we let them stay up on the 4th. Murphy's Law. I mean, we can't go wrong, we'll go wrong. It's so true. It's so true. I feel like I should submit some. I'm gonna submit some feedback. AI follower. No. I'm gonna submit some feedback for this real quick. These guys are a little close to the dungeon entrance. ... I'm in Texas plagued by is that fireworks or gunshots game tonight. The city that I live in does allow fireworks. Most of the cities in this area do not, but we do, so we get to do some on our street. Not like the launch them up in the air and watch them explode kind, but the set them down and they give you some sparkles and a few booms. It's fun though. The kids love it, and I can handle it. Loud noises and flashing lights are not always my favorite thing, but the kids love it, and seeing them have a good time is always worth it. Hope everyone's staying safe with fireworks out there. Firecrackers. To give the kids a safety speech every year about sparklers. Don't point them at anyone. That includes yourself. Don't look at the sparklers. They're pretty good about it though. Dad joke has been redeemed. Alright. I know a lot of jokes about retired people, but none of them work anymore. You're welcome, chat. Thank you, wifey, for redeeming that. She's giggling in her over at her desk. If you're not a fan of dad jokes, then well. Thankfully, it costs 1,000 channel points, so they don't get redeemed that often. Maybe once or twice a stream. Let's see. We're waiting for our Windwalker to get in here, and then we're going to get started. Alright, I have not played Eldrachi Reaver yet. I should play the hunt with this though. I guess that's probably an easy point to give up for it. And then we will put the hunt, put it right there. Because the hunt auto activates the glaive thing for you. On the opposite side of that fireworks coin, you could always pay a drunk friend to put the lit end of the sparkler in his mouth. That sounds like a terrible idea. Yeah, I believe he would have to go to the hospital after that. Oh man. Kids, don't do that. Don't do that at home. All right. The stone vault. Hopefully people know the mechanics. We're gonna do some double pulls and see how we hold up. Oh, we got feared. Okay, that's not great. Drop a sigil of silence. We only have one of those now, but... Well, we almost died. We didn't, but we almost died. Okay, we lived. Alright, I'm going to drop a sigil of chains. Oh boy. Does a lot of damage, the or whatever it's called, the glaive thing, Reaper's glaive. I think you have to consume a lot more souls as vengeance to get it than Havoc does. Okay, on to Edna, the first boss. How many do I have to consume exactly? 30, okay. Yeah, Havoc is like 6. But you do generate and consume a whole lot more as Vengeance, so that's right. You can also guarantee it by using the Hunt, which is a solid way to open a fight. Make sure we break all of these. Okay. Honestly, Vengeance still feels just really strong. See, we don't have anything to break this time, do we? Nope. Generally speaking, I think all tank damage will need buffed by 40% or the threat modifier needs to be increased. People pulling 5 times my damage to sustained impulse. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of like... I feel like that's always a little bit of a problem. Oh. Well, that's not what you want to have happen. I just fell over there. I guess both sides got pulled. Okay, we'll go in with demon spikes up this time. Oh, these guys, okay. No, these guys give us slow, okay. There's some trash mobs in here that give like a stacking 5% damage increase, damage taken increase. And I was noticing that hurts a lot. Not sure which mobs are the ones that do that. No slash either. Do 14s on live. Remember, threaded shit's on beta. I do not normally have on live. Yeah, that's it's pretty rough. I have noticed like some of the tanks definitely have thread issues, especially on pole when you have people like targeting different mobs. Oh, we got 3 stacks on them right now. That's not good. Hey brother, tried stand-up gaming too much in food coma, so watching instead. Right on. Yeah, I think a lot of us, at least in the US, probably have a pretty big food coma tonight. Bloodsand Lane feels horrible now after the nerfs. Yeah, I haven't tried it after the nerfs, but it was not unexpected, but it definitely looked heavy-handed. It was a large nerf to the haste, right? I mean, on the one hand, it's like they nerfed it by 0.5% per stack, but that's actually like 33% of the haste you were getting out of it. So that's quite a large nerf. Okay, we're gonna pull this one side at a time. Yeah, I'll have to do some more testing with that before I decide which character I'm going to main for sure. Because, like, Sand Lane Blood was, I think, maybe the most fun. Or at least it felt incredibly powerful. The infliction of sorrow damage and dot extension are basically passive now instead of a gameplay loop. Oh, okay. That's unfortunate. I mean, yeah, I don't know. On the one hand, I'm okay with things becoming more of like more approachable, but it kind of felt like that was what made the spec fun and really what made it tick. So it's kind of unfortunate when it's a skill expression like that being taken away. You'll very likely not be able to extend your dot at all. Yeah, I don't like to see that. Personally leaning more towards Brewmaster the more you play beta. Nice. I love Brewmaster. Like, every time I play it, I just have a blast. I think it's the tank that I've mained the most often in the last, like, I don't know, couple of expansions. I don't know, I'm kind of leaning more and more toward Prot Warrior, though. I haven't made Warrior in a long time. It feels very powerful. Very, very strong. but I'm not going to make that final decision yet. They could just nerf it into the ground and make it like not fun and not viable. Fracture. This is the debuff. Couldn't quite tell which mob did it though. There's a part of me that just wants to pick either warrior or DK because it would be really fun to level with a relevant legendary weapon. But I feel like that's probably a bad reason to pick a main. Those guys just ran straight for the mage. Is he eating res? I don't see anyone casting res. There we go. Good as run back, but oh well. Alright, we'll open up with a hunt here. Lego will be outdone by 565 weapon, probably a fresh 80 or 79 weapon. Yeah, it'll definitely get outclassed by gear at some point. But those first few levels, it's gonna feel really nice. I mean, any like 528 weapon will feel nice, but I don't know, having an orange just feels good, you know? And I plan to level as Fury if I'm playing Warrior, so as an offhand, that thing will probably still be relevant all the way to 80. At least into like Heroic Dungeons. Unless they just disable the dot at some point, which they may do. But I would feel sad if that's the route they choose to go. Alright, this boss is kind of cool, but also very dangerous. Took them 2 consecutive months of buffs to make the X feel good. I mean, you're not wrong. Shuttles says, "Hey Thor, glad to catch you live. Glad you're able to be here. Thanks for stopping by and joining us on this fine Thursday evening." Oh dear, there goes the group. Took them 2 months of buffs. So, I mean, that's technically true, but I didn't get the legendary on my DK, which was my main that patch, for 3 months. I got it on our 13th kill of Heroic Farak. Last person in my guild to get it. So I didn't have it until it was good. I actually got it on my warrior like almost a month before my DK got it. I like started doing weekly kills on my warrior and paladin just to try and get it on somebody. And my warrior got it on like the 3rd kill. So that was a weird feeling. Like I have my main blood DK who was like almost full 489s, including a 489 weapon. Just getting bad luck protection every week. Alright. Really appreciate you explaining the upcoming dungeon and its mechanics in your latest vids. Thanks. Glad it's helpful. I'm still learning this dungeon, so I'm not doing too much explanation of it. This boss, you want to kill these guys around the same time because they have an enrage. The dwarf dude has a spell that you want to kick, and then they both summon something into the middle. He summons like a cart that goes through, or it might be like a block, and the other guy summons one that explodes. I got it 2 weeks after it became available. There are no guides yet other than other DK's account of it. For 26 hours. Yeah, I took a slower pace than that, but I was pretty eager to get it once I finally got the drop. Oh, what happened there? Did I? Oh, I targeted the wrong guy with the hunt. Whoopsie. That was my fault. Whoops. Cost you 750k to get the axe. Yeah, the materials were not cheap. I think I paid about 200 for both of mine, 200k each. So it was a dent in the gold that I had, but I wasn't using it on anything else, so I did decide not to go after it on my paladin after I finally got it on the other 2 characters. I did farm a lot of the materials that I needed though, so alright, we're gonna hunt on this guy. Make sure we don't go flying across the map into the big AoE that we're supposed to avoid. Gotta dodge that. Yeah, that big lava orb hurts a lot. This whole fight hurts a lot. Yeah, we might not have this. Woof. Looks like our warrior went offline. It'll be interesting to see how Blizz kneecaps this dungeon. Yeah, I mean, the mechanics aren't like impossible. It's just a tuning thing right now. I mean, Molten Metal is going off. Well, it went off at the end after everyone else was dead and my kick was on CD, so. It's just a lot of damage. And some of the stuff is not the easiest to avoid. NOA makes it the first month in the state. Yeah, I think it'll see some nerfs. Targeted nerfs at some of these bosses. Did I already do Guardian Druid? If yes, what are my thoughts? I did Guardian Druid, yes. I have a video on the channel. You can watch it whenever you like. I have conflicting thoughts about Guardian Druid. Like, on the one hand, I think when you're actually in the game playing it, it feels pretty good. When you're setting it up and going through the talent trees and everything, it feels really bad. Oh, no worries. Yeah, I have a lot of, let's say, feedback about the talent trees, both the class and the spec tree. So, I'd like to see a lot of changes there, but I'm not optimistic we're going to get any before the expansion goes live. Watch that when you have more quiet time. Yeah, no problem. Hope you enjoy it. I tried to be not entirely negative. Like, I think once you're actually playing as Guardian, especially when you're playing the Elun's Chosen build, it feels pretty strong. And, like, it's kind of the same old bear that we've always had. So, like, the gameplay is there, but it needs some help outside of that, I think. Alright, we're gonna drop the warrior, and we're gonna go again. I'll set it to 3. Looks like we're losing our Windwalker as well. Yeah, I was saying earlier I was trying a no incarnation build, and I think there's two things. It feels really bad to skip incarnation, but it feels really good to get those 5 talent points to spend elsewhere in the spec tree. And I think if you're playing the arcane build, Lunar Beam kind of fills a lot of the niche that Incarn takes up. It felt better than I was expecting it to. Definitely did not like not having Incarn, but it gives you a lot more flexibility in the tree. But that kind of goes back to like one of the main points of feedback that Guardian Druids have been giving for since Dragonflight Beta, which is why on Earth is Berserk Incarnation taking up 5 talent points throughout the tree. Like, it should be 1 talent point. Man, when I have a beer while tanking M+, I've knocked so many beers over now, I've had to put them in arm's length. Yeah, I've made the mistake of knocking a drink over onto my keyboard before. That's always a scary moment. Alright, see you, Tyra. Hope you have a good day. Thanks for hanging out. Catch you next time. Your wife is Bandit now. Probably wise. Yeah, I have some coasters that are like, yeah, like arm's length away. I'm enjoying just the fizzy water tonight. Let's see, we got a DK. I don't think I've seen a Frost DK yet. Let's see how they do. Alright, we'll go back to, I probably need to reset the dungeon. Mist of Tyrannus Scythe has been reset. Okay, well, we'll go to Stone Vault. Hopefully it's not, I mean, it wouldn't be in progress anyway, right? Yeah. And we're not going to step forward. Don't want to aggro those guys. We'll go to the little mini council boss first. What are Frosty kids playing these days? Not Breath, makes sense. Obliteration. Cool. This Scythe Man or Horseman? Does it show you that? I wasn't even looking. Yeah. Cool. That's one thing, is I haven't really tested the DPS specs that much for the tanks that I'm most interested in. Alright, just waiting for our healer to get here. Ow. Don't mind me just elbowing something on my desk behind me. I think it's BS that Perma Horse can't be used in outdoor dungeons. I mean, I get it. It would be very overpowered, but yeah. It's like when you build a tree with that as a core ability and then you can't actually use it in all content. It's kind of upsetting. I'm just sad that Blood can't use that tree at all. Do it for the meme. It would take DK from being like one of the least mobile classes to being far and away the most mobile.
So here we are. High Speaker Irish. Or is it just Irish now?
That'd be pretty cool.
Hall of Awakening into the stone wall. He's probably running like a frightened mouse. Wee slinging, cowering, timorous beastie.
Want to run circles around Rogues and Monks for once. Yeah. That would be pretty sweet. Waiting on our Mistweaver to make it in here. Do a ready check, see if that gets their attention. There we go. got him in here. Alright, everybody's ready. Give it a countdown. Oh. Can't activate because we pulled. That feels really bad. My meta! Yeah, these guys are definitely way too close for the start of a key. Hey, we got some gold for it though. Alright, well, we won't get a meta to start us off here, but it should be fine. Actually, just gonna start out with the hunt. Ready, and wee! I remember to actually use our glaive when it's up here. No! Oh boy. Oh boy. Alright, we're really gonna test things out here. Get these guys back into the death and decay. This DK is slapping. Shattered Frost? I don't even know what that is. Oh, and I'm dead. And I ran and got feared. Oh no, this is okay. Okay. Alright, maybe we pull one side and we pull it back. Probably the wiser decision here. With the hunt on these, so we do Reaver's Glaive. Some distance, hopefully heal up a little bit. All right, here we go. I think there is like a little combo you're supposed to do after you use Reaver's Glaive. Not sure exactly what it is. I know it involves like the order you do Soul Cleave and Fracture in. So I think it does. I don't know, I'm kind of going blind on this though. Appropriate, right? For playing VDH. Oof. This boss slaps. All right, let's go this way this time. Let's get to the hard boss first. May need to kite? Yeah, let's kite. We'll have Fell Devastation when we pull this back, so we should be fine. Oh. Alright, this is a big pull, but we got meta, so we're gonna do it. We're gonna chill. And we're gonna kite because we got 7 stacks for 35% increased damage taken. All Hellstone. Okay. I feel like that was a decent use of cooldowns. Make sure we survive that pack. Some of these packs are just like... I mean, that one had a pat in the middle of it when we pulled, so... that's why it was rough. Not paying attention to the giant orange orb right in front of my face until it's too late. Make sure we don't do that on the boss. We're gonna save the hunt for this boss on pull. Got our 20 stacks, let's go. Alright, we're gonna jump. Oh boy, that was probably a bad idea. That thing came out way faster than I was expecting it to. Oh no, we lost our warlock too. Well, On the one hand, it's easier to heal 3 people than 5. This mage's damage is... Wow. That was, Now this thing explodes, so we gotta get to the corner here. Yeah, okay, we're dead. We are dead. Man, this fight is rough. I think if we hadn't lost the DK and Warlock, that boss would have died pretty quickly. Because they're doing tons of damage. Wonder what they died to. The cube. That thing came out. I thought he went over to the side and then had a cast time of like 3 seconds and then it went through. It seemed like he jumped over and just sent it instantly. So. And then, okay, the Warlock got hit by the lava ball. So we gotta watch out for that. He might have been sniped when he was taking the gateway to get over to safety. Alright, here we go. Okay. Dodge that one. Okay, we'll be safe over here. So let's move over here. Make sure nobody gets hit. We lost our mage. Got the mage up though. Right on, right on. Okay, so he's gonna summon the cube in, and then we just gotta not be in the middle. I'm going to meta. This is gonna be tough because we're gonna... Oh boy. We have like very little safe space to stand in. Oh, this is bad, this is bad, this is bad. Okay. Oh man. Right before he died, he meleeed me for 2.8 million. Oh, no, that's the enrage. Yeah. Do I play Blood DK? I do, from time to time. Blood DK was my main in Season 3 of Dragonflight. I've been playing it just like very, very little as an alt this season. I've done a decent amount of testing on it, although I haven't tested it since the Sand Lane nerfs. Do you know the Deathbringer talent called Rune Carved Plates? I don't remember what that one does. I can look it up on my other screen real quick. I've definitely put more focus into Sand Lane for DK. Rune Carved Plates. Each rune spell reduces the magic damage you take by 2%, and each rune generated reduces the physical damage you take by 2% for 5 seconds, up to 5 times. Okay. Yeah. So I think I was playing with that one when I tested Deathbringer. Did you have a question about how it works, or? Is it refreshable? I don't know if I've tested that based on... Based on the description, I would assume it is refreshable. Because usually for abilities that are like... that don't refresh but do the thing where like they stack, they will say if it stacks without refreshing. Sorry if that's confusing, because there are abilities that like you can overlap stacks but they don't refresh, and it usually specifies that in the description of the ability. Current haste value is making it hard to keep the physical portion, but the magic portion is almost full stacks. Yeah, I would expect with in-game haste levels, that'll be something that we're able to keep up pretty decently well. But yeah, the magic one is almost just like... that should just be kind of passive. I mean, with the nerfs to Sandlane, Deathbringer maybe end up being the better spec, so... we'll see. Man, this boss is rough, and we've lost our mage now. Got 5 minutes left on our hard CD. Well, we can just jump out, and on the Mythic Plus testing realm, it'll send us back to Orgrimmar. The area ahead is dangerous. Turn back. There's a town on Deathbringer that makes Blood Plague take 50% faster all the time. That and consumption combined makes Blood Plague huge. Yeah, that's pretty sick. Let's just get a fresh start here. Blood Plague is 20% of your damage in a dungeon. Huge. That's massive. That's so much damage. I mean, 50% faster ticks is insane. Yeah, and then that stacks with the 50% you get from consumption. That's just... that is wild. Just taking like probably every 1 second or less. Okay, let me take a look at my damage breakdown here. I think I need to be paying more attention when Reaver's Glaive is up. Although some of that damage, I think, is getting tracked under Art of the Glaive, or that might be tracking the combo damage. Also makes big umbilicus, yeah. That gives that talent a ton of value. Also, I'm kind of wondering if it's even worth taking Illuminated Sigils. I mean, the 15% parry from Sigil Flame is huge. But I'm wondering if, like... Maybe going for more demon spikes uptime and taking last resort might be good. I don't know. Probably just stick with this for now. Let's just try it on a 2. See if we can get through that boss. Alright, so Edna is actually pretty simple. There's the smash that hurts the tank, but you just get dispelled. And then you break the spikes with the beams, and then, like, that's it. Alright, we'll take these evokers. I'm contractually obligated to hate Demon Hunter, given one of my best friends is a Demon Hunter main. I feel that. I feel that energy. I am not, like... It would take some drastic changes for me to want to main Demon Hunter again. I've been playing I've been sort of maining it in Season 4, although I haven't been doing a lot on it lately. Let's get a mage, and... Let's see this Ellie Shaman. Let's see this Ellie Shaman action. Yeah, I think it would take a lot for me to main Demon Hunter again in Season 1. I don't even know what the changes would be. Neither of the hero talents for Demon Hunter are really exciting to me. Like, Throw Glaive, I've never really liked Throw Glaive builds, which, like, that's what this one is entirely built around. And this one is just like, you get more meta uptime, kinda, which is nice. These pull bosses or packs too early with the hunt you laugh every time. It is pretty comical to see a Havoc DH just like zoom across the screen and then get destroyed by the mob because the tank was like, we're not pulling yet. And they lose so much of their damage from that. Alright, get a ready check in here. And then that second boss. Okay. Second or third. Because you can choose before you go. So there's a lot going on, but the most important thing is kick Molten Metal, which the short guy does. And then dodge the Lava Expulsion that the mech suit fires off. And then just don't get hit by either of the scrap song or the deconstruction. Yeah, by the cubes. Oh no, our mage is offline. Could be just a DC. People DC on the beta all the time. Yeah, there he is. Alright. Get my ready check again. Nobody step forward this time. Wait, does this... No, it does have Zalthas bargain. It's just not saying it.
Or is it just Iric now? He swept from the Hall of Awakening into the stone.
Alright.
He's probably running like a frightened mouse. Wee slicky,
There we go.
timorous beastie.
Hey, how's DH looking? Honestly, I think it's still in a pretty decent spot. You're obviously feeling the sigil nerf, not having double of all your CC sigils is a pretty big nerf, but I still think it has so much more like AoE CC than all the other tanks that like it's not necessarily a weakness. It's still like the ability to lock down packs is still a strength. It does feel a little bit weak on pull in some of these packs. But I mean, a lot of tanks feel weak on pull a lot of the time, so you just make sure you have your spikes up or have either meta or Fell Devastation available, and you're usually fine. I'm gonna try this double pull again. Now the CCs are just powered instead of overpowered. I mean, it's kind of overpowered still. Oh, we got feared. That's really bad. That's really bad. Yeah, that got pulled. Okay. And I'm out of... Okay, we got feared again. Oh, and then these guys got giga hasted. Alright, we're just gonna let that reset. This dungeon is awful with the necessary kicks. Yeah, it's... There's a lot. Alright, we're just gonna line aside this one back. It does highlight one of the dangers here, though. Like, these mobs, if you don't kick that fear, it's a bad time. Alright. Those guys just got destroyed. This is a dungeon I'm trying to solo with tanks to see what's what. Looks like with Deco so far. What difficulty are you trying to solo it on? I mean, I know we have like gear scaling, so or like different difficulties aren't necessarily that much easier. That is a good way to get like a baseline comparison for tanks, though. See how much you can take and how much you can solo. I feel like DK is going to have much better results when trying to do that, though, right? It's like it's built to be able to heal up almost all the damage that it takes. As long as we just kill those pillars, should be fine. Alright. Lost our mage. So you follow when you teleport to it, so like Mythic 0. Cool. Got very close on DH, but that's mostly due to damage. Burning it down before he dies as opposed to true self-sustain. Yeah. We don't have meta, so let's not pull those guys with these if it can be avoided. Nope, they're coming in. Alright, well, here we go, boys. I can stun and take out a bunch of zealots otherwise while we do it, so let's do that. Okay, not too bad. Okay, we got some friends here. Bear also seems doable. Can't figure out what the warrior yet, and Monk's never gonna happen. Yeah, Monk is trying to solo difficult stuff on a Monk, on a Brewmaster is like, it's rough. Because like your class is designed to have incredibly smooth damage intake, but also like eventually you will just die without a healer. Unless you're yeah. Unless you're absolutely insane at the class. Bear, especially Lunar Bear, has very, very strong self-sustain. Warrior's tough, because it's like you have good leech, you block a ton of the incoming damage, so like you have a pretty low incoming damage taken. But then, yeah, if there's like big stuff or tank busters, you are in trouble eventually. Alright, let's give this another go. Oh, I don't have enough resource. Second one seems free for warrior. So, I mean, the thing with Second Wind is, like, you have to go for a spell without taking damage, right? I know they buffed it so you get some of the benefit when you drop really low. In PvP, yeah, Second Wind can be really good in PvP. If you can, like, kite behind a pillar or, like, inside a building in Battlegrounds or something, it can be pretty strong. We're just gonna jump all the way over here. Oh, watch that lava ball. Everybody ate it. Oh, that's bad. Oh, that's really bad. No, no, no. Okay, that was my fault. That was not the right place to be tanking those guys. Should go to the other side of the room. Although, I don't know if he can... I've never seen him jump to the left side of that room as you're entering. I suppose he could, and then we'd be in a lot of trouble over there, too. Ooh, we get the shaman buff. I forgot about that. Solo +4s and remaster in season 3. We can only time +2s. Then season 4 zeros are still trivial. Like to try in the beta. I would be interested. Yeah. I mean, +4s in season 3. Yeah, that translates to like somewhere around an M0, right? I don't know. The scaling of keys is so weird now. But still, soloing +4s on a brewmaster is, even in the old system, it's pretty strong. Make sure we got aggro on these. Expressive, can't figure out monk at all. I mean, a big part of monk is like timing your purifies. Like, you want to purify when you, ideally right after you take big hits. Our shaman just got destroyed. What? How did I get hit by that? Thought I got around that lava ball. Maybe if you're inside his hitbox. Okay, let's see what happens over here. There's nothing for him to jump on over here, right? So. It's my favorite tank. It has often been my favorite tank. Oh, he can. Okay. Okay. Well, now we know. Now we know. Okay, well. Research. Faves are DH and Bearer for completely different reasons. I have a really hard time picking a favorite tank. Seems super tough. Yeah, this boss fight is hard. This is only a +2, but the mechanics are like absolute one-shots. At least for the DPS. DH for damage and mobility when it basically going to be a DPS. Best secure pugs with utility, and bear form is adorable. Bear form is awesome. I like bear form. I've always had a soft spot for Guardian Druid. I mean, Druid in general. All the way back in Vanilla, I mained a Druid. I mostly had to play Resto, as you did in those days. But I did get to tank on occasion. Alright, so we want to try dropping fire. Why is this guy not on me? Dropping fire in mid. Watch that lava ball. Okay, and now we go to the edge.
I'm out of range.
Oh, watch that lava. Watch it. No, we go back to mid. What would I play for within release would be tomorrow? I would probably land on Prot Warrior if it was releasing tomorrow. Probably Prot Warrior if it was tomorrow. Thankfully it is not, and I still have time to change my mind a million times. No, no, no. Okay, we gotta go over here. This boss is about to get a Giga haste buff. But he died. Let's go. We did it.
Look for another main card. If it's here, we might as well use it, unless you'd rather walk.
Alright, we can take the minecart here. Attack it. Hopefully they don't actually attack anything. Yeah, I think Prot Warrior is like slight favorite status right now. I still, man, I still love Monk and DK, but I haven't played DK after the sand lane nerfs. So we'll have to get some reps on that. See if it feels as bad as I have been told or suspect. And also just, yeah, see how Deathbringer feels again. I did like Deathbringer. So. I think Warrior's in a spot though where like I really love both of the hero specs. Definitely prefer Mountain Thane. But I would not be upset if I had to play one of those. I change my mind every day. I feel that. I looked away and missed the victory thing, but congrats. Yeah, it's been a task getting through that boss, but we did it. I think that one is the hardest boss in this place. Man, I don't have any of my sigils left. Alright, these guys are just getting just one sec. Warrior's fun. I've always liked Prot Warrior, and I think like just playing it is so fun right now. I think BFA Prot Warrior was my favorite, and they took away a lot of what I loved about it in Shadowlands. But then they brought a lot of that back in Dragonflight, a lot of the talent synergy that you can get. Alright, we gotta kill both side packs here. This guy's just a pat, so we didn't get everything. This guy looks like a little Diablo. Will I play the other tanks later? I am down to play another tank if you guys want to see it. I really felt like I needed to get some reps in on Vengeance for the sake of the upcoming video, which I don't know if I'll be able to get to this weekend. I'm hoping I can, but I needed to give it a little bit more playtime before I make that. Sorry, one sec. And I also wanted to get through this dungeon. Which it looks like we're gonna do this time. I think we may even be able to time it. Started thinking Dragonflight for that as a one-trick mage since vanilla. Nice. I have a lot of respect for people who played the same class for that long. I just can't do it. I am a serial reroller. I have rerolled almost every patch, like going back to like Wrath of the Lich King.
I need to get closer.
I like Warrior as well, struggling with all the buttons though, feels good otherwise. It has more keybinds than most other tanks. It might be on par with like where Brewmaster is on beta if you pick all the passive talents that you can for Brew. It's definitely not as bad as it was like in Legion before Devastator was, like when you had Devastate as part of your actual talent. Or as part of your actual rotation. Back then you were like fully, yeah, this boss is just, the boss is super easy. Back then it was just like completely GCD locked. I'm the opposite. I've been tank since BC, going mage for the first time ever. Nice. If you want to play DPS, mage is almost never a bad pick. Like, it has historically almost always been very, very good. There's maybe been like 1 or 2 seasons where it wasn't one of the top classes. And I think just in general, like, picking a pure DPS class is always a fun choice. Especially if you enjoy all the specs, because you can change things up. Or you can just, like, play whichever one is best.
I need to get closer.
Mages look like they're having a lot of fun right now. Arcane looks like it's pretty sick. Having a blast. All love for tanks. Love seeing you stream tanks. Helps keep me love in tune with seeing tank perspective. Well, nice. Thank you. Yeah, I did like I was saying earlier, I played Druid in vanilla and I did a little bit of tanking, but obviously like you preferred to have a warrior in pretty much every scenario as your tank in vanilla. Right? Like you could tank pretty much anything as a druid, but you were gonna have a harder time. Let's just take care of these orbs. We have a big haste buff going into the next pull. Oh, okay. Oh, here we have to kill the totem. I literally was not able to target that. Yeah, so I played a Druid in vanilla. I actually didn't play a ton of Burning Crusade. I played a rogue, but I studied abroad in college during Burning Crusade, so like that kind of forced me to take a break, and then I just didn't like get into raiding or anything in it, and there wasn't a ton to do outside of raiding. I'd raided pretty hardcore in vanilla. These totems are hard to target. That's really annoying. Because when they go off, they're like Breckenite Hollow status totems. Oh, well, okay. We'll just wipe it. But yeah, when I started raiding again in Wrath, I was playing a Frost Death Knight tank. Since you could, those who played Wrath Classic or remember back in the day, you could tank on all 3 specs for Death Knights. So I played a Frost Death Knight tank, which was a ton of fun. I loved that spec. And then I ended up playing a Prot Paladin a lot in Wrath as well, because it was very, very strong. And I've kind of been tanking ever since. Oh no, this is not good. We're gonna meta. Yeah, these guys are just gonna wipe us if we keep pulling. I need to pull them back, probably is what I need to do. Yeah. We'll pull back. I will say the timer in this place is very, very generous, it feels like. We've had... I don't even see a death counter. It's not showing a death counter. But we've had like multiple full wipes and we still have 7 minutes left with just 2 packs in the boss. But yeah, I've kind of been taking since Wrath. I've definitely had times where I've been a DPS main. But I've always at least had like a tank alt or a tank spec on my main. Okay, totem went off. This is rough. I did this dungeon earlier on my druid and like, I don't know, didn't have this level of problem. Oh, they got 13 stacks? Okay. Just need to let them reset again. Did we really lose the mage? We made it so far. Well, I don't think we're going to be able to finish these trash packs without the mage, especially since we have an Auguboker. That is unfortunate. Mage is not coming back. We will replace him and go again. We prog these keys now so we don't have to on live, right? learning this now so I can teach my guildies what to do and we don't have issues when these dungeons actually matter. Let's reset. Oh, there's players still inside. Man, AUG last season and losing a DPS was the worst. You really realize you're under true DPS at that point. Yeah, that's definitely a huge downside. I played a lot of AUG in, what was it, like 10.1.7 or 10.1.5 whenever they released it. And those were the moments where it was like, oh, okay. Because it's like, you're not just losing a third of your DPS, it's like you're losing half of your DPS if one person goes down. Let's get this DK in here. Yo. Try resetting again. Alright. What is this? 4th time's a charm? 4th or 5th? I think it's our 4th. 2nd time with most of this group. Alright, I'm gonna go back to Felsgard. I feel like I like this one more. Yeah, just having like empowered stuff during meta feels really good. Get like a mini stagger here. This one. Oh no, why did I jump ahead?
High speaker, or is it just Irish now? He's fled from the Hall of Awakenings with Stonebolt. He's probably running like a frightened mouse. Cowering, timorous beast.
And Waycrest's sucked if DPS got rooted and you had an evoker with no burst damage. Yeah, I remember that happening a lot. I did happen to have like several friends playing Paladin that season, so while it sucked, it was also like we had a freedom, or I guess it was Bop you had to use on that boss, right? Because it was technically like a stun. So that at least made it like, okay, we can handle the first 2 or 3 here. Because chances are one of them's going to go on the Paladin and they can bubble. Yeah, like you gain a lot of benefits from having Og, because they're really solid defensively. And then like buffing the DPS is also like really nice. But then yeah, if one of your real DPS goes down, it really is a unique downside to having an Og in your group. Felsgard is great. Yeah, I really liked Felsgard with the dungeons that I've done with it. I have heard that Eldrachi or Eldraki, I don't know if that's supposed to be like a hard K or whatever. I've heard that that's like way better for Havoc, just numbers wise right now, and the playstyle is reminiscent of Vinthier Havoc, which I tried in Raid a few times in Shadowlands and did not like, so I don't know how that's gonna turn out. But if Felsgard ends up being good, then I know it is good for Vengeance. Okay, we got a lot of friends here. Let's pull as many in here as we can. Maybe we'll drop a Silent Sigil. I will say one thing, like, you definitely notice playing Vengeance, or at least that I've noticed on Vengeance more than other tanks, is like the lack of secondaries that you're going to have in Season 1. Like, a wrong panel. Like having 8% haste. And part of this is because I'm just wearing mostly like PvP here, but having 8% haste feels so bad on Vengeance. The 26% crit is nice, but oh man.
I need to get closer.
Alright, we got our haste buff. We're going all in here. No, we got feared. Oh no. Oh no. We got feared again. Oh no. Okay, we got feared again. Oh no. Couldn't get away. Well, things are mostly dead. Oh man. Hey, stats on beta are atrocious. Straight but undignified. That's a good way to put it. Okay, I need so much. Oof, need so much fury. Oh no, okay, they only got one stack. Okay, that could have gone worse. Could have gone much worse. I mean, I don't know how much worse it actually could have gone, but we didn't wipe, so. Technically, it didn't wipe. Fears are so busted. Total Poke. Yeah, and part of this is because I'm just using a lot of default UI stuff. When you've got like a pull with 5+ mobs, it can be hard to see which mob is actually casting a fear. And I know the solution is like, okay, use Plater, but I don't know. There are people who use a lot of default UI, and I kind of like getting that experience on beta. Like, my retail UI is way, way different than this.
I need to get closer.
I would love to use less add-ons. I always try when there's like beta or PTR stuff. See how it feels. Whatever updates they've made. I ended up going back to LVUI after Dragonflight launched. For the first like month of Dragonflight, I tried using the new baseline UI. For most things. I still have like Plater and Weak Auras. But my like saved profiles got wiped out twice in the same weekend. And so I had to like reset up everything multiple times, and I was like, I'm done. I've never had this happen with Weak Auras or with LVUI, so. LVUI is just too good to be. Yeah, I mean, it's got its problems, like, it takes up a lot of memory. I know some people have had like horror stories of it like nuking their graphics card in the past. But I've never had an experience like that, and just like having everything in one package makes it really easy to stay on top of things and make sure you're up to date. Yeah, I've been using LVUI since like Legion, I think. Makes it, I mean, it does, if you set it up yourself, it does take a while to get it looking how you want to. But I just love the flexibility of having one add-on where I can like get everything that I want displayed on screen exactly where I want it. Alright, we'll fight this guy. I don't know if I should take him to the next pack. 3 of these might get obnoxious, but doing them one at a time is also obnoxious. Hey, what's up, Ez? How's it going, man? Alright. Here we are again. Okay, so we pull them to the middle. And then when they go to summon the blocks, that's when we move to the sides. Okay, so now that was not the best spot to go to, but this spot right here should be just okay. And then go back mid. We'll wait for... Okay, now, oh boy. Okay. I was not expecting it to come in from that side. I thought he summoned his from the other axis. Apparently, he can summon his from anywhere. Which Season 1 dungeon has been my favorite to tank? So the thing I'll say on that is, I don't think this is unique to just tanking for me. I think Grim Batol has actually been my favorite dungeon overall. I think the boss mechanics are really cool, like the new updated bosses in there. I think the way that they changed the drakes to basically just like let you deal with the first part of the dungeon and not take you around the whole thing, taking out like half of all the trash. I think they handled that really well. Oh no no no. Oh no. No. Oh, we killed it. Oh. And our DK left the party.
If it's here, we might as well use
Yeah, I think Grim Patrol has been my favorite Season 1 dungeon so far. I think it's super fun. Alright, Well, I think we might just be done with Stone Vault for tonight, and maybe we'll try and conquer it another time. I want to change things up a bit and swap to a different tank and a different dungeon. So we will have to jump out and get ported back to Orgrimmar. Which tank would you guys like to see me play, chat? I will let you decide. Other than Demon Hunter, since that's what we've been playing. Oh, disconnected from the server. I found that like half the time when I log out, I get full DC'd. Okay, I don't know why my monk got bumped down on my list. I had my monk like up here. We got the warrior, we got the DK, the monk and the bear, got the paladin. I'm not opposed to seeing Prot warrior since you mentioned it's what you would choose. Yeah. I am totally down to do some Prot warrior stuff. Any dungeons you guys would like to see in particular? I don't even know what my warrior's key is at right now. It is a stone vault right now. We're not going to do that. We're going somewhere else. We could try Arakara or Dawnbreak. I mean, I'll just buy all of them and then we can pick. I personally don't know them well enough. All right, tell you what, we're going to put them. One through 7 in the bags here. And I'm just going to do a slash roll 7. We will let the dice decide. 3. Grim Batol. Alright. We will run a Grim Batol. I definitely want to do more testing in the not returning dungeons. Like the new ones, because I definitely have a lot more familiarity with the... We'll get the shaman back in here. He was pretty good. I have a lot more familiarity, especially with the ones that were like actual Mythic Plus dungeons before. Necrotic Wake, I timed that on a 20 in Shadowlands. Although we got carried by the weapons in that dungeon, so I don't know how much that counts. Mist did that every week in Shadowlands. Siege of Borealis ran that plenty of times in BFA. Even if it wasn't the best. Let's get this Resto Shaman. Getting double Shamans, let's go. Haven't seen necrotic weapons in the beta. Did they keep the weapons in it? They nerfed them a lot. So they gave the spears kind of the same treatment that they gave the chains in Nelthris for Season 4. Where they give like a mini buff to the damage that you deal to mobs. They completely disabled, there were like the malfunctioning, I don't remember what they're called, like the malfunctioning golems or whatever. They completely disabled those in Mythic 0 and Mythic Plus for Season 1. So you can't like have your Kyrian buddy activate those and then do a Gigapole. The silencing orbs are still pretty strong. And they're kind of placed... Like, I mean, the weapons are like... They're all in the same spots that they were. They haven't been moved around. I think a lot of people probably just don't know about them if they didn't play a lot of Shadowlands, which a lot of people didn't play a lot of Shadowlands, and I don't really blame them. Do the spears still stun? I don't think they stun bosses. I don't remember if they actually stun or not. If they do, it's not for as long as it was. This is where having some experience in past expansions can come in really handy. That's true. I like the necrotic way changes. Yeah, I haven't run it too often. I've run it like 3 times. The first 2 times I did, the angels were bugged and like we couldn't actually go up to the 3rd boss. And the other time we made it upstairs, but I think we had some issues using the chains to pull the boss down, and then we just got overwhelmed by the spawning abominations. So yeah, I generally like, I don't know. I think there's some fun mastery that you can have over a dungeon that's got stuff. Yeah, we'll just, I don't know, we'll take this Windwalker. Yeah, there's some fun mastery that you can build over dungeons that have, like, mechanics like that built into them. But at the same time, like, they were way too powerful in Shadowlands. IMO, just get rid of the weapons. I hate it when the dungeon plays the game for me. Yeah, I think that's a totally valid criticism. I think if they did utility things, I don't know. Just tune the dungeon appropriately. I think that's fair. The other like big downside of the weapons in Shadowlands was like if you screwed up with the weapons or like you wiped or someone died when they were holding them. I know they changed it later in the expansion so you would they would persist through death. But if you lost those weapons or like used it at the wrong time, like it just completely bricked your route. So that was never fun. Alright, we'll do the old pull timer. I'm okay with like doing a mini boss and getting a stat amp or something. I've invested time into killing something that's made me stronger. Yeah, I think that's a good way to do it. Which, I mean, they had a whole affix that was like that in Shadowlands Season 4 with the Dreadlords, where you would just like build up the buff that they gave you over the course of the dungeon. And I think that was one of my favorite affixes. Certainly one of my favorite seasonal affixes. Which I guess kind of is de facto favorite affixes then. You gotta be careful, these guys knock back, and you can get knocked into the pit. Don't check my stream VODs, it definitely never happened to me. Definitely. So be careful of those dragons. Oh, I feel like I say it every time, but Mountain Thane is so fun. I love just the visual feedback. We got everything. Let's go. Yeah, Mountain Thing is my favorite tank right now. I love min-maxing with Thunder Blast procs. It just feels so good. The visual feedback is so satisfying too. Alright. This is something I need to pay attention to here. Does our count go up if we actually kill mobs with this? I know it's intended to, but I was like, yeah, it does. Okay. I ran this the other day and I was like way shorter than I expected to be at the end of the dungeon. And I was wondering if there was like a bug with count based on killing stuff earlier. Looks like there is not. Also looks like we didn't do a ton of damage to these, but that's okay. Yeah, barring like some kind of substantial nerf to Mountain Thane or like substantial buff to another tank. Oh man. It's hard for me to see myself picking another class other than Warrior right now. Are there packs you can skip? Yeah, there's a few. You can skip most of the trash in Throngus's room. Like you can pull the stuff around the outside and skip the stuff in the middle. Okay, a quadruple pull there was probably a little too much. It's like, you know, you've got like the packs with like the giant ogre and then like the 3 guys channeling into him. You can skip almost all of those. You have to pull one of them so that you have room to do the boss. But you can skip the others. But then like... Oh, did I let shield block fall off? Yeah, that'll get you every time on Prot. Sometimes I get too chatty and stop paying attention to stuff that I need to. C'est la vie, World of Warcraft things. It's true. I feel like Prot with shield block feels so safe that it's like almost a false sense of security. Oh, we're getting our orbs before the boss fight. Nice, nice. The curse of streaming and having to focus. It's worth it though, chat. It's worth it having you guys here to talk to and hang out with. I mean, maybe my guild doesn't think it's worth it, but I do. Make sure we dodge the dragons here. I really like the changes they made to that mechanic. Where there's like actually a safe line now. It's fairly easy to tell which one it is. I can't tell you the number of times I've been in a push queue like, okay, gonna pull it all with lust, and then just immediately die. Find it a badge of honor that I distracted the streamer into dying. Yep. Good on ya. Yeah, so like you can skip this pack over here. This one you kind of have to pull. If you just hug the left wall. But I think you eventually have to pull one of them because they give a ton of count. And like getting to the last... killing the last boss in this place and then realizing you're short on count feels so bad. Because the run back to get to any trash after you kill the last boss is so far. No, oh, okay, okay. Guys, what are we doing here? Alright, this, we're on an adventure now. We're gonna use Last Stand, just be giga safe. Demo shot and shield wall. And I'm dead. Okay. Yeah, I kind of thought that was gonna happen when we pulled that trash pack. That's the thing, like the boss when you come into this room is just like chilling over there, channeling into the lava. But then he starts padding, I think, after you kill the first pack. And he will pat right into you if you keep pulling too much trash. So I think the play is like, kill the first pack right there, then kill the side pack, like we did, and then hang back and wait for the boss to come to you. I think we'll be okay though. It's a long run back, but the timer is pretty generous in here. Oh, I should have saved leap, because you can actually leap across the chasm here. Now we have to run all the way around. Better to figure out now. I suppose the keys don't matter. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, the other thing is there's a checkpoint in that room after you kill this boss. There's a checkpoint like right up here. So dying there feels kind of bad. Also, we probably just shouldn't have released because the healer actually lived. Okay, he should pat around again. I guess we killed the trash pack though, so we'll have tons of room to fight the boss. Yeah, so the big thing on this boss, don't face him towards your group, face him away. He will do like the slam that leaves the fire on the ground. And then when he gets his molten mace out, run for your life. He gets slowed by it, so you can kite him, but if you stick around and let him melee you, you will not live. Just don't stand in the slam he does. He's gonna die really fast because it's only a 3. The swords, if you have a defensive or like active mitigation, you can use it during the swords. Because he hits pretty hard and swings pretty fast, but like shield block is kind of enough as a warrior. Unless you got like 2 other things slamming on you. The mace is okay. It's the molten mace that you have to run away from. Because that gives him like 1000%. Yeah, here it goes. But you just run away. 1000% increased melee damage done. 50% reduced movement speed. So, just run away and you're good. Unless he gets buffed by all of the Zealoth orbs. I really like how they handled that boss though. Alright, we're gonna pull this back on the side for count. And then we should be able to skip that pack up there because we killed the other one with the boss on the first try. Just hug the left wall. You completely skip that pack. You don't even have to hug it too tightly. You just run along the left wall and you're fine. And here is where stuff starts to get a little tricky. These lava benders, you can pull them with other stuff, but you ideally want to only have 1 lava bender at a time. They do the Stark Eruption, which hurts a little bit. And they get to 50% health, they cast Ascension, and then they are very, very dangerous. That'll be particularly bad on Fortified Keys if you just, like, let them sit with it up. Because, like, their really dangerous casts are not interruptible. And then these Twilight Enforcers have a stacking Enrage that they gain stacks every time they melee you. So ideally when they get to like 2 or 3 stacks, step out of melee. Hopefully I did aggro that pack. Okay. These warlocks suck. You want to try to avoid them as much as you can. This curse they put out is a ridiculous healing absorb. Thankfully, Shockwave is really, really good right now. Yeah, look at that. It does a decent tick of damage, but then it's also like a 4 million healing absorb. Now, theoretically, you would think in a group with 2 shamans and a mage, we could just curse dispel it. Maybe they did. Okay, just line up our shockwave and take out as many of these orbs as we can. Okay, so we see this guy has 2 stacks of his Enrage. It just increases his attack speed, but if you just kite him for like 3 seconds, it falls off. Excuse me, Dispel doesn't do damage, thank you very much. Fair enough, fair enough. Yeah, these guys get pretty dangerous if you let them get big like that. I think you can skip these warlocks, and then there's a lava bender here that we will pull back. Oh, watch out, watch out. Yeah, I think if you stack this Dark Eruption on each other, it's bad news. Yeah, you see the frontal, when it's ascended, did like 90% of that guy's health. Can you skip that mob? You could probably gateway skip that that ascendant, because you can gateway and you can leap across here. Oh, this is not great. Yeah, this pack has a lava bender in it. careful here. Lava benders are banned. Do they have true sight? I don't know. I haven't tried to self pass one. There are some bug spots I've noticed where Zolotath will spawn and then like all of the orbs are just stacked on top of each other. You take them all out with one AoE. Yeah, the lava benders are brutal. There's like the two up here you have to fight though. Okay, we can try to skip these sleeping guys, but I think we're gonna need them for count. Which makes me really sad. Because there's 2 warlocks in that pack. Make sure everybody gets by. Aesthetics, good morning. How are you doing? It is technically morning where I am. It is 12:30 a.m. out here in Pacific time zone, west coast of the US. That Infernal looks nasty. Yeah, it's pretty nasty. Animations for Mountain is very satisfying. It's awesome. I love it. Like, the animations alone are almost worth just like hard locking this as a main for me. I think the key thing with this like double lava bender pack is you do not want to make them both ascend at the same time. That frontal is brutal though. One fun thing I discovered one of the times I was running this place is if you charge into the Shadow Spirit, or just let it run into someone. Oh no. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can reset. I don't know if it'll actually reset. I should probably I'm just gonna jump off. Yeah, if the ad touches someone, it's game over. This is a +3, not tyrannical, and it did that much damage. Discovered my channel recently. YouTube algorithm keeps popping up on the feed. Great videos. Thank you. I really appreciate that. I'm glad you're enjoying them. I've been enjoying making them. Thank you for thank you for hanging out and being here for stream. My stream hours are kind of weird for a lot of my potential audience, but yeah, I'm glad if we got you friends. Wonder if you can spell reflect the AoE if it pops up. I mean, generally, like the number of AoEs that you can actually reflect are pretty small. It has to be like individual targeted, but like hitting everybody, right? Which that might be. Yeah, one thing I did notice, or one thing I did discover, is if you charge those ads before they have a target, they will just explode when you get to them. It's like I was trying to big brain it the first time I was in here, and I was like trying to charge and hamstring, but then I charged it too early and it just exploded and killed everybody. That's way more common than people think. Yeah. For spell reflecting AoE stuff like that. Alright, I guess we're just going without the monk. I know you can spell reflect the Shadow Flame Bolt. Give as many as you can with Shockwave. like, you can help kill it once it's got its target and it's zooming toward them. But if it doesn't have a target yet, if anyone walks into it, it'll just, it'll be a bad time. But getting a slow on those is huge, and hamstring is a really easy slow to use. It only costs 10 rage. You kind of always have 10 rage. This is where this fight gets rough, because he summons 2 of these, I think. Yeah, he summons them back to back. But what we can do is just Stormbolt. Oh no, oh no. Maybe we can't do this without the monk. Man, what is with people leaving dungeons on the beta? Just like... Alright. 0 for 5 on successful dungeons tonight. Thunderclap should slow 40%. Yeah, it's a slow. That's true. It's 20%. Isn't there... Oh, there's a talent that makes it slow more. Or is it when it's, Crashing Thunder, okay. No, that doesn't increase the slow. 20% baseline, another 20% in the tree. Oh, okay, I'm not using Crackling Thunder. I don't know why I don't have that talented. Oh, I think I dropped that to take Rumbling Earth. It's probably a better talent to drop to take it, but... I don't know, I like all of these talents. Honestly, would drop a Spirit Bastion point. Yeah, I feel like this one is kind of weak. Like, the actual damage a Champion Spear does isn't that great. It's like 4% of total damage, so getting more damage on it is not great. And the rage regeneration is kind of excessive. This is probably better. See if this guy has any dungeons he wants to do. I love that on the on Testing Realms they make Nomi a Fire Lord. Yeah, that's a huge radius. Makes it what? 12 yards? That's huge for radius. This guy's saying Stonebolt. Alright, we're going back to Stonebolt, guys. We're doing it. We're doing it. I guess I don't even have a Stonebolt. It's not you. You're the teleporter. It's this guy. "24 yard AoE, 12 yard radius. Gonna head out and get some sleep. Good night." Good night. Thanks for stopping by. Alright, I guess now we find out, was DH the problem, or was the dungeon the problem? Totemic test, I like it. Warlock A. These are like great tester names. The Great Warlock A. All right. Well, I feel like if nothing else, I'm getting some really good learning reps in this dungeon. One of the things I've been wanting to do since I'm like getting to the end of making videos about tanks, like I've got 2 left. I want to make videos about dungeons that are going to be in Season 1, because I feel like going through that process will be really helpful for me going into Season 1, just like actually figuring out, okay, what are all the things that we need to stop, what are all the kicks that we need, what do the bosses do, what are the really dangerous pulls, where can you randomly get feared and pull 4 packs when you're not trying to. Like, just going through that process is really helpful, and hopefully it can be helpful for you guys too. Like, it's one of the cool things about beta as opposed to like going into Season 1 as opposed to Season 2 or 3 or whatever is you get so much time testing stuff out before it's live. The mage is in Grim Batol. Try to make your own route with the M+ tool and look at each mob as you're adding your route. That's really helps me. Yeah, when I've done that in the past, that's been really helpful for me too. I haven't been able to find a tool that's updated for War Within Dungeons yet. Granted, it's been like a week since I looked, so maybe there's something out there now. But I couldn't find an updated version of Method Dungeon Tools. I couldn't find I think it's like Keystone Guru, the thing that you can make routes for Radar.io. That also hadn't been updated. Unless there's like a beta dot version of the site or something that I just didn't see. You can rely on CH cast stops. Yeah, I did that in Shadowlands. And I think that was a huge help. Like learning all the dungeons. No updated MVT, no updated spell block, spell reflex spreadsheet. Yeah, that's always handy. But we're still a couple months away from launch, so I'm sure those things will be around when we're ready for them. And even then, like, we'll have 2 weeks after launch before we're actually in keys. I'm curious how they're... Sorry. Been talking a lot tonight. I'm curious how they're going to handle dungeons during Heroic Week. Because, like, they've said they're bringing Heroic Week back, at least for Season 1. I'm wondering if they're going to have, like, everything capped out at... I don't even know what the equivalent would be. They used to cap it out at, like, level 6. But that was when everything went up to 15s. Put together simulator, spell reflex spreadsheet, that is. Yeah. Yeah, I trust that'll be available. Heroic Dungeons will drop M0 gear. That's kind of how they're balanced right now, right? Because new M0s will drop the normal raid gear. M0 will be closed the first week. Yeah, maybe they just... I don't know. It would feel bad if they didn't have keys at all the first week. Do I find Warrior to be one of the more enjoyable tanks with the changes? Warrior, I think, is my favorite tank right now. Blood DK and Brewmaster are both right up there with it, but I think... Yeah, like if I had to decide what my favorite tank was and commit to maining it today, it would probably be Prot Warrior. This Warlock is not reading chat. There we go, we got a closet coming in. Yeah, thanks for the message, Baktosh. There are never keys available the first week. It's always Heroic Dungeon and Zero's first week. Oh yeah, no, I know that's like... I know for like before the season starts, right? I'm just wondering because they've said they're bringing back like a heroic raid week, or at least someone said. I've heard some people talk about that. So if they do that, I'm wondering what the dungeons will look like before Mythic Raid opens. Is that for M+ primarily, or would you raid on Warrior as well? I haven't done any raid testing yet. So right now I'm speaking on like experience in dungeons. I have a full-time job that like basically I can't do the heroic or like mythic scheduled raid testing because I'm working all those hours all the time. And then I know normal raid testing was open last week, but I just didn't get around to it. I was pretty busy last week. First week, I do not believe you'll be able to just queue for heroic. Instead, you'll have to form a group and get there, etc. Yeah, I know that's how it worked. That's how it's worked in the past, right? I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I'm sure there'll be more info on that as we get closer to release. All right, everybody's here. Okay. We did it again. Warrior just feels invincible. Like... And I know Demon Hunter is generally spikier than a lot of other tanks, maybe less so than DK. But like you have the self-healing, so you take more damage. But like Warrior just feels so incredibly strong out of the box. Yeah. So I'm not a Mythic Raider. I only raid AOTC level. My guild, we usually get ahead of the curve like within the first month or so of the raid, and then we just farm it. So I'm mostly just picking on like which tank I think I'll have the most fun in dungeons, because that's where I actually try to push stuff a little bit. Oh, that's funny. Alright, we'll see how this goes. Saying first week or two ADC, but I normally DPS for my guild and taking M+. That's where I've been a lot of times in the past. But I'm committed to tanking for the foreseeable future. which I've enjoyed. I did start raid leading for my guild in Amirdrasil, and doing like progressing while tanking and also raid leading was way harder than I expected it to be. Try to open with shield charge, in a demo, ignore pain, thunderclap. That's a good way to do it.
Probably running like a frightened mouse. He's sleeping without a stick.
Kick the fear. We did it. Doing damage in raid is a good change of place from tanking in Mythic Plus. That's true. Yeah, raid tanking can be... I don't know, there's some fights that are really, really fun to tank. Like Rashok was an awesome fight to tank. I really enjoyed tanking for Rak. Actually, I think the last, like, 3 fights in Amirdrasil, I had a ton of fun tanking. Oh, man. Okay, this mage just said my character is bugged and then went offline. Maybe he'll come back. Rashek, Echo, Sark, all good tank fights. That's true. I guess the only, like, final 3 boss... Well, Vault... I'm gonna be careful with what I say about Vault. I did not like Razagath. I really didn't like Razagath. Terex, did I ever mention my guild name? Raid times are very inconvenient for me. Sure, yeah. We are definitely recruiting people for War Within. My guild is called Undaunted. We're on Hyjal. We're not to be confused with the Deaf Undaunted guild. We joke that they're the better guild than we are. I mean, it's only like half joking. Those guys are like incredibly good. But yeah, our guild's been around for, I think, like 10 years, maybe longer. We raid from 9 o'clock to midnight Pacific time on Tuesday and Thursday. So if you're interested, for sure hit me up and we can, like, send me a DM on Twitch and we can figure out if we'd be a good fit. Last time you raided as a tank with Mythic, Uldir, and BFA. Nice. Is Prot Warrior in a good state as it is right now for M+ in the War Within? I think so. I mean, it's incredibly tanky. Like, I don't think survivability is going to be a big issue for Prot. Now, granted, I haven't done, like, absolute max level keys, but just comparing it to how the other tanks feel in equivalent key levels, it feels really, really sturdy. Your damage is good. Your utility is actually pretty good too, I think. I mean, Commanding Shout is kind of a meme. Like, it's probably not going to keep anybody alive, but a little bit of survivability is not a bad thing to bring to the table. Battle Shout could be good, depending on how tuning of the different DPS classes goes. Alright, we're gonna form in this. Let's go. Mountain Thane or Colossus feels better, performs better. I have really preferred Mountain Thane, but I do like Colossus. I think it's fun, and it's definitely a different playstyle. I don't dislike either of them, and I think both have a chance to, like, be really strong and have different strengths. So Break that. Yeah, our warlock just went offline too. This knight is just like cursed on trying to complete keys. I don't even know what to say at this point. I'm having fun though, so. Well, I don't think we can 3-man this. We might be able to 3-man Edna, but yeah, I guess what it's going to come down to see like which tank ends up being meta is like what's actually going to be the blocker and keys. If it's going to be control, then I think Demon Hunter probably still has a little bit of an edge. Although DK has closed the gap a lot on that. If it's damage, then like it'll just depend on like which tank does the most damage and which DPS you can buff. If it's gonna be survivability, then I think Warrior is actually in a fantastic space for that. Never do more than like a set for portals and then just 8s for myth track. I mean, if that's what you're going for, then I think Warrior is a great choice. Obviously, all the tanks are fully capable of that. I mean, I'm assuming all the tanks are going to be fully capable of that. There are like rare cases like early season 1 BFA monks were very undertuned and were probably not quite good enough to get your portals. But they did buff them pretty quickly. Should spell reflect that frontal. That is really smart. Jay, if you're going to queue again, I'd like to queue DPS. Yeah, for sure. We'll remove this warlock. You guys want to stick around. Yeah, I'll for sure have at least one DPS spot. Just let me know what your character name is, and I'll make sure I get you in. Boneless. Alright, we're queued up as +2 Stonewall. Let me see if I can just invite you. Cool, gotcha. Spell Reflect always gives a 20% magic damage reduct, even if it doesn't reflect block or reflect a spell. Yeah, I know that part. I was thinking, okay. I was thinking you meant if you reflect it, you just automatically get the Earth Shield or whatever it is. Because that's part of the, that's fine. Like, that's part of the mechanic, right? Is you get dispelled and then you get the Earth Shield. But I mean, still, yeah, like just getting the damage reduction from Spell Reflect itself is huge too. Might be nice to get a B-Res. We'll see if we can get a Warlock other than Warlock A. Maybe we could find Warlock B. Alright, Turks, if you're still there, I sent you a DM on Twitch. Simpy, alright, buddy. Have a good night. Good luck in your keys. Thank you. Hope you have a good night or a good day wherever you are. And hopefully I'll catch you next time. Let's just get this Demon Hunter in here and go. Back to the stone walls.
So here we are. High Speaker Irish. Or is it just Irish now? He's fled from the Hall of Awakening.
Boktosh, thank you for the follow on Twitch. Really appreciate it. I stream on both Twitch and YouTube, so whichever platform you guys prefer to watch on is totally fine by me. I do have some Twitch channel points rewards that you can use to troll me a little bit sometimes, or troll my guild a little bit, or troll the chat if you redeem the dad joke. Yeah, whichever platform you guys prefer, I'm just glad to have you guys hanging out. Okay, this guy. Is his name Totemic Test or Tote Mike Test? These are the important questions that we need to consider as we encounter people naming their beta characters. Alright. Surely we will complete this dungeon.
So here we are. High Speaker Irish. Or is it just Irish now? He's fled from the Hall of Awakening into the stone vault. He's probably running like a frightened mouse. Ooh, shouting timorous beastie.
Man, Prot Warrior just feels so good. I'm so happy with the state it's in right now. I think one of these guys is trying to get the fear off. We'll just go ahead and interrupt him. I'll end up on either Monk or Warrior at this point, just depending what the guild needs. Just join, but I'm leaning towards Warrior. Yeah, I mean, Brewmaster's a great choice too. I think Brew is always a pretty good choice. And like, that is a raid buff that can be hard to find. Brew is often often the best choice for grabbing it. Yeah, I'm in a spot where, like, my guild has a guy who plays Arms Warrior, like, exclusively. Shout out 1G if you're watching. Or if you catch this on the VOD. And is, like, really, really good at Arms Warrior. Like, consistently gets orange parses. So we don't ever need Battle Shout. And I do keys with him a lot, so like, my key groups don't necessarily always need Battle Shout. But if Warrior is the most fun tank, and it's not... I totally lost my train of thought there. If Warrior is the most fun tank, then like, that's probably going to be the key decision factor for me. They would have you on Windwalker, live in Monk and the Liver is better on Warrior DPS than just tank plus.
Is that golem fused with something else? Titanic earth and
That makes sense.
magical elements.
I mean, I've seen good numbers from Moonwalkers too, so. I guess that is one thing to consider, like, especially if you're in a Mythic rating guild, make sure you're on a class that they're going to need or want. A lot of times that kind of makes the decision for you if you're tanking for that guild, right? Oh, this is not great. Oh, we just gave the boss 11 stacks of that buff. We cannot be doing that. I was early on my shield. My spell reflect there. Survived it though. Oh, will the DH get rezzed?
Looks like the main door is locked. Either one of these paths should lead us to an access console.
I never find tank slots, so I just keep Unholy DK when we're Warrior DPS up, and whichever one is needed, I just tank. Plus, with that tune, the season, always gonna need one. It's true. Yeah, you're always gonna need at least one of those classes. That's a good way to do it. It can be hard finding a tank spot in a guild if that's what you want to do. Like, tanks tend to hold their spots for a long time. Actually, when I joined my guild, I was playing Warlock. And they were recruiting ranged DPS, so... Then one of the... We got some friends here. One of the tanks ended up quitting WoW like halfway through the second tier I was with him. And I was like the only person who had a geared enough tank ult at the time to jump in, and I jumped on that opportunity. Raid tanking is less exciting than plus tanking, so it works out. When we oppose raid tanking, I would just pick DK and don't want to kick anyone out of tank spot. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, raid tanking is like, I don't know, there are a lot of fights that are really fun. Like we were kind of talking about that earlier. I think especially Aberrus and Amir Drasil had some really great tank fights, but a lot of the time it's like, as a tank, you figure out the mechanics with the other tank, and then you're just waiting on like everybody else to see their mechanics often enough to learn it, or like to catch up with the DPS check. So it can get kind of boring and grindy sometimes. Respect the grind to take the good spot, yeah. Again, we're just a heroic guild, so it's not like, it's probably a lot easier to find a spot in AOTC guilds than Mythic, but I enjoy it nonetheless. Haven't found the cognitive load from M+ is reduced in the War Within so far. That's something that caused burnout for me in Season 2 and Season 3. I would say yes, but that is because that's at least in part due to the simplification of affixes. So like, the only like really impactful affixes right now are the Zalatath ones, and those are, one of them is just entirely passive, right? It's just mobs deal and take more damage when they're in execute range. So like that one you barely even have to think about. And then the other one is like the one that we have right now where she spawns all these orbs, and those are like, you just hit an AoE CC and you take out half of them. Like, I'm just gonna shockwave. No, I'm not, because it's on CD. So like, that compared to like dealing with Sanguine or Raging or Incorporeal or Spiteful, like all the affixes that like spawn stuff in the room, or you know, like those add a significant layer of cognitive load. I do think the dungeons are, at least the ones I've done, definitely have some stuff going on. I don't know if it's quite to the level of Dragonflight Dungeons. So I guess I would say, like, it seems lower to me. What would you say is Warrior's best quality of life change in the War Within? 5% defense stance, damage reduction being gone. Seems like we have a lot of keybinds. Monk Dragon, not Monk Dragonflight levels, but close. I think, like, there haven't been a ton of changes to Prot Warrior. It feels very much the same. I think the biggest quality of life change is just that you can actually, like, you can play Shockwave without giving up too much, if that makes sense. Like, Shockwave is so much easier to get now. I don't want to keep the talent tree up for too long because I'm trying to not die. I have 4 stacks of this debuff. I gotta be careful. Yeah, not having the damage done reduction on defensive stance is nice. There is a talent that gives you an additional 5% magic damage taken reduction when you're in defensive stance, and I think that's like low-key really nice. Like, obviously it's not the biggest damage reduction in the world, and I think magic damage, like sustained magic damage, is still going to be a little bit of a weakness for Prot compared to what some of the other classes have. But I mean, in those scenarios, you could also take Spell Block if you really need to. And then Prot's just got really strong baseline defensives anyway. These guys are getting quite buffed here. Okay. I'm just going to preemptively Shield Ball. Yeah, I would say the Shockwave change, with it being like way higher in the tree, is really, really nice. Because when it was in the capstone area, like, you could take it, but giving up, like, you can't realistically give up Avatar. Avatar is just too strong, right? So you're probably giving up Thunderous Roar for it, and that feels kind of bad. Well, this is going to end up being quite a big pull when that pack comes in. Okay, we're gonna demo shout. I'm gonna shockwave. Oh, they got blasted. Okay. And now I don't have shockwave to help with this. Alright, we need big AoE here, guys. Or this is gonna go really sideways. Ow. That's too much. Maybe should've waited for a pat. It's all good looking way ahead right now. Oh, looks like we salvaged it, maybe. I'm gonna last stand. Stun these guys. Unfortunately, I don't have Avatar. I can Shield Ball though. Kind of slowly grab aggro on everything. One kind of low-key thing that I don't know if I've talked too much about. In the Mountain Thane tree, there's a talent that makes Stormbolt hit 2 additional targets. So getting a 3-target stun on Stormbolt is actually pretty nice. Also, I think Stormbolt is baseline now. Oh no, it's not, but it's like, it's so high in the tree that like getting it is super, super easy. Which, to be fair, you run it in every build in Dragonflight, basically, anyway. Unless it's like a pure single target boss encounter with no CC. I'll just say, I don't think I have talented out of it in Dragonflight. I'm feeling like we should triple these guys. Let's see how this goes. Oh, we lost our shaman. Could have gone worse. I gotta wait for Jersham to get back in here. Is Thunderous Roar less impactful now? So one of the problems, I wouldn't say this is a problem. One of the things with Thunderous Roar is it's locked under Cruel Strikes, and like the other 2-point talents here, I think are just a lot better. Like Armor to the Teeth gives you a ton of strength. Endurance Training gives you a ton of stamina, which is nice. Alright, here we go. This is the real test. This has been the group killer all night. I'll give her that. We got a nice safe spot over here. Alright, he's doing scrap song, so we gotta get out of the way. Looks like I still got hit by that somehow. The hitbox on that thing is kind of wonky. Okay, he's gonna summon his in pretty soon here. We don't want to stand right there. Shield wall. Oh, I ran into it. Okay, we're gonna last stand so we don't die here. He can summon his right on top of us. Okay. The mech dude is dead. What do I not have anything? I do, there it is. We did it! One shot. So one of the reasons you play Thunderous Roar right now is because of the tier set for Prot in Dragonflight. Without that tier set, it's not as good. And I think just tuning wise, Champion Spear is better on the beta. Another consideration is Champion Spear has, like, it increases the damage you deal to mobs that are in it. So that's got synergy with things like Avatar and Demo Shout. And since we're kind of like giga buffing Avatar with Mountain Thane, like, it just feels really good. That was a long charge. I love when you charge at something that's moving away from you and like you just keep going way longer than you should have been able to. Reminds me of some of those like charge bugs in vanilla where you like charge at something that looks like it's right next to you, but then you end up like running around a wall and going up a staircase. Oh, we can kick the heel. I think Zealotap is going to spawn soon. I'm a little hesitant to spend Shockwave right now. Oh, don't want to get hit by that. Yeah, there it is. Oh no, please don't let those go off. Got Avatar back up again though. That's another satisfying thing about Prot Warriors, just like how often you can get Avatar up. Okay. All right. Yeah, Jay, there will be totems that these stone shapers spawn. You have to target them and kill them immediately. If they explode, we will die. There's one right there. I think you have to tab target to it. They're really hard. I couldn't like click on the nameplate to target them for some reason earlier. Nice, they're getting killed real fast. Okay, pulling back. We want to line of sight these. Pull these back as well. Don't particularly need to, but let's just not risk pulling the boss if we don't have to. Well, don't get hit by that. That AoE is very deadly. Hey, how's it going, Grant? Hope you're having a good day so far. We are here in Stonewall. We're 3% short. Okay, well, we're gonna do boss and then we'll go kill something. Any chance to mess with the brew this build? Curious to the 50% nerf to elixir of determination feels. I played with it a little bit. I think it's still a really strong talent, especially for its place in the tree. And I think brew still feels pretty good overall. Like, it sucks to get nerfed, but like, that's a talent in like the first area of the tree. I think it was probably a little too powerful. And I think brew still feels fine without it. It seemed a bit too strong. Not bad when watch brews a bunch of illegal fireworks for a few hours. Nice. Yeah, we did some legal fireworks at my house on our street. I took my son, my older son, to get some this morning. We had some fun, lined them off this evening. Had some friends over. We should still have this boss. Like, this boss is not tuned to be incredibly difficult. The nerf was worded as 100% to 50% of purified damage. It's not even trying much of a nerf that ends up being in the scheme of things. I mean, it's, yeah, and it's still like a minimum of 20% of your max health. So like, if it was just always 20% of your max health, I think it would still be a very good talent. And now just like if you purify a like super high red stagger, it's just gonna do more. Was it just me and the healer in here? I think it's just me and the healer. Let me get my debuff off here. I still wish WoW had consistent linguistic conventions like PoE does, where phrases like recently always mean a consistent thing. That would be really, really helpful. That has been, like, tooltips in WoW have long been inconsistent at best. If you purify 60% of your health bar stagger, it'll go up from 20% of max HP to like 50%. So still an insane 1 point development. Yeah. Like, that's just wild value for a single point that high in the tree. Tooltips and WoW are incredibly vibes-based. That's a great way to put it. I wish they were better. But I mean, that's been a complaint like forever. This is where we might have a little bit of trouble. Oh, that thunderstorm was legendary. Bravo, sir. The shaman is a real one. Yeah, my understanding is the way that talent works is it's like the recently just means your last purify. I think that's what I heard someone saying. Alright, we gotta go get 3%. Because apparently we skipped something. I don't know what we actually skipped. That is an important thing to note about routing, because I pulled everything that we had to and we're still a little bit short. I think one of the packs in the room off to the right here is going to be needed. I mean, something like the last 5 to 10 seconds. That's usually what it means, yeah. I heard some people that like do theory crafting were saying it was like just your last stagger or your last purify. It will technically get 2 purifies in 1, but generally normal rotation is just 1. That makes sense. Wait, these guys are all dead. Oh, we went the wrong way. Oh, that feels bad. How many more are you running? That might be my last one for tonight. It is 1:30 a.m. out here now, and I do have to work in the morning. I work from home, so thankfully I don't have a commute. I don't have to drive while I'm tired from a late night of streaming, but I do need to at least be on the clock. At least be able to talk to my team. Do I have any opinions on the new iteration of Siege of Borealis? Yes. I think it is vastly improved from BFA. I think the last boss feels way, way, way better now that it only spawns the first Demolishing Terror. And I think that combined with, like, basically removing the spotters from even being a thing, like, alleviates 95% of what I don't like about that dungeon. I think the only complaints that I would have left is like the I don't know if this is a complaint. It's an observation that I know some people don't like, and that's kind of like the layout of the map. The way you have to like kind of wind around back and forth, and it just feels long. Is it good? I have enjoyed it more than I expected to. Now I want to say I came into Siege of Borealis, like when I heard they were bringing that back, I had like floor level expectations, and I have actually enjoyed it the times that I've been in there. And I think I've enjoyed it even more with the changes to the last boss. So I'm cautiously optimistic. PTSD. I don't think I could count how many bricked keys I had in there in BFA. That place is cursed. I think they've done a lot to improve it. I think it's going to be in a good spot. Is it standardized for Ally and Horde now? Yeah, everybody gets the Alliance version, which I think is the better choice, because if you start in the Alliance version, you can just jump downstairs. Like, we can just go there real quick and check it. So the Alliance version, after we get through the loading bar, I'm very familiar with because I played Alliance in BFA, which I think I want to be careful here because I think there's a part of me that is just nostalgic for the city of Borellis, and so there may be a little bit of like nostalgia driving me to like this a little more than I should. But I think, like, yeah, I think it's in a good spot, and I'm cautiously optimistic that it's going to be a really good experience. So the Alliance version, you start up here, and so like the standard route would be to like go through, like pull these guys, go up the stairs. There's another big pack up the stairs over there, and then you kind of get to a point where like you meet up where the Horde version is. If you want, you can jump downstairs here. You just jump down, and then right here is like the Horde entrance. Right. What we would do in BFA as Alliance, I don't know if I can. Nope, I walked out of the instance. What we would do is just like, there's a jump that you can do. It's much easier if you have a shaman or a DK so you can have water walking. But what we would do is just like get on a mount, and then you can jump to like right there. If you like line it up, you can get down on. Nope, I fell right through, and now I'm out of the instance again. Anyway, point is there's a jump you can do to get over to the Horde side part of it and skip a little bit of trash. BFA had very good sets, stage, or scenes, however you put it. Yeah, that's true. Especially the Alliance zones. Like, I was not a huge fan of Dazar lore, but like the Kultiris zones I thought were really good. Borellis might be my favorite capital city that they've ever put in the game. Maybe that's a hot take. The questing and stuff in Zandalar was super cool too. Alright, everybody. I think that's going to do it for stream tonight. Thank you, everyone, for stopping by. Really appreciate hanging out with all you guys. Had a great time, and I hope you did too. I am going to be working on the Demon Hunter video, which I'm hoping I can get up on Saturday. And then I'm hoping I can start working on videos about the different dungeons, which maybe will start coming out next week. I'll be streaming probably Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, and then I'll actually be out of town for part of next week, so there might be a little bit of a lull in the content in the streams, but we'll catch back up when I get back in town. So until then, farewell, my friends. I'll catch you next time.